You think you own a cat. You're wrong. The cat is watching you. It has been watching you for 5,000 years. Ancient Egyptian priests left written records that cats spend up to 3 solid hours each day staring at corners of the room. Corners you see nothing in. Corners where there is, as far as you can tell, nothing at all. A team of scientists decided to take this seriously. They pointed infrared thermal cameras directly at cats' eyes and mapped exactly what those eyes were tracking. What they found was this: whatever the cat was following only appeared after you fell asleep. And here's the part that should make you pause. There are over 10,000 documented accounts in paranormal research archives, all pointing to the same conclusion. Every cat that has voluntarily approached you has already done a scan. Your energy field, your history, the path your life is currently on, the direction you're heading. Your cat understands that more clearly than you do. And you assumed it just wanted food. Before you turn around, look at where your cat is right now. What is it staring at, just behind you? Don't turn yet. Let me finish. Because by the end of this, you'll understand exactly what it's looking at. And this story starts 10,000 years ago. Your ancestors had just figured out farming. The first grain silos were going up along the banks of the Tigris River. Storage buildings packed with wheat and barley. And then, as always happens when you store food in one place, the rats arrived. Then one day, something else appeared beside the rats. A cat. And here's the detail that changes everything. No one brought it. No human carried it there. No one set a trap, trained it, or lured it in. The cat walked over on its own. In 2007, a researcher at Oxford University assembled a team and spent 10 years collecting DNA samples from 979 domestic and wild cats across the globe. It was the largest genetic map of feline species ever created. He wanted to answer one question: how did humans domesticate the cat? It turned out that question itself was wrong. Cats were never domesticated. The genetic difference between your house cat and a wild cat from 10,000 years ago is so small that they read like close relatives, like siblings from the same household. Compare that to dogs. After domestication, dogs' brain volume shrank by nearly a third. Their aggression dropped to almost nothing. Their emotional dependence on humans was hardwired into their DNA. A domestic dog, separated from people, struggles to survive. A domestic cat, released into the wild, is hunting and eating on its own within 3 days. Your cat doesn't need you to survive. It could leave whenever it wanted. The question is, why did it choose to stay? There's something about cats that most people spend their entire lives not knowing. Adult wild cats do not meow at each other. Between themselves, cats communicate through scent, body posture, tail position. They do not use their voice with other cats. Never. Meowing is a language cats invented specifically for humans. In 2009, an animal behavior researcher at the University of Sussex recorded cats in a range of different situations with people. He ran the audio through precise acoustic analysis and found something that gave him chills. When a cat is asking you for food, it embeds a specific high-frequency trill inside the ordinary meow, a layered sound. And the frequency of that embedded trill? It overlaps almost perfectly with the sound of a human infant in extreme hunger. That's the sound that crawls under your skin, the one you physically cannot ignore, the one that makes you put down whatever you're doing and go check. You've been told your whole life that you're a rational person, and then a cat meows at you and you're on your feet before you've made a conscious decision. That's not a coincidence. The cat found the oldest switch in your nervous system, the circuit that responds to infant cries, and it has been pressing that switch every time it wants something from you. Precisely. Deliberately. Every single time. Let me take you back to that first evening. 10,000 years ago. The sun has just dropped below the opposite bank of the Tigris. There's still a thin strip of orange light at the horizon. The mud walls of the first granary are still warm from the afternoon sun. A farmer is sitting at the entrance. The air smells of wheat stalks, river water, clay. In the corner of the storage room, rats are chewing through a grain sack. The sound is clear and constant. Then the sound stops. A cat steps out of the grass beside the building. It doesn't run. It doesn't flinch. It walks slowly to the granary entrance and sits down. Then it begins grooming its face with one paw. Calm, unhurried, as if this place had always been its territory. The farmer watches, doesn't chase it away. The cat doesn't leave. And just like that, with no agreement made, no decision taken by either side, the strangest partnership in human history quietly began. The one who took the first step was the cat. Now let's talk about what the cat actually put on the table. You know that feeling when your cat settles on your lap and starts purring? That low, dense, vibrating hum? Something in you just releases. Your breathing slows. Your whole body feels like it softens. You thought that was just comfort, just warmth. In 2001, a team of bioacoustic researchers at the University of California measured the vibration frequency of cat purring. They found it concentrates between 25 and 50 hertz. That range has a name in medicine. It's the same frequency range used by low-frequency ultrasound therapy devices in orthopedic clinics. The machines specifically designed to accelerate bone healing and tissue repair after injury. That's what your cat is doing when it lies on your chest and purrs. It's delivering measurable, low-intensity physical therapy to your skeletal and muscular system. At the same time, it's pulling down your cortisol levels, your body's primary stress hormone, and switching your nervous system into a parasympathetic recovery mode. You thought you were enjoying your cat. Your cat was executing a transaction it designed. You provide food and shelter. It provides genuine, biologically measurable physical recovery. A deal 10,000 years in the making. Here's the part that reframes all of it. We have a mental list we carry around. Dogs were domesticated. Cattle were domesticated. Horses were domesticated. Cats were domesticated. Domestication means humans spent thousands of years reshaping a wild animal into something dependent on us, obedient to us, unable to survive without us. In that story, humans led and animals were transformed. The Oxford DNA data puts a crack in that list. Cats are the only animal in human history that chose to cooperate with humans, and never once surrendered their genetic independence to do it. They didn't become dependent. They didn't become obedient. Their nervous systems were never rewired to need you. Their DNA still tells them they are complete without you. They just chose to stay. Which means this entire relationship, from 10,000 years ago to the moment your cat is sitting somewhere in the room right now, was directed from beginning to end by the cat. The cat decided when to enter your life. The cat designed a vocalization that targets the oldest vulnerability in your brain. The cat delivers a physical frequency that makes your body crave its presence. The cat, over thousands of years, turned a species of large, self-important primates into creatures who build entire rooms for them, buy them specialized food, and feel genuine anxiety when they've been quiet for too long. 5,000 years ago, the Egyptians carved cats into their temples. They placed them on altars. They passed laws making it a capital offense to kill one. You might have always thought of that as superstition. I don't anymore. I think the Egyptians were simply being honest. They knew they were dealing with something they couldn't fully see or explain. And rather than pretend they understood it, they chose to respect it. Meanwhile, we in the modern world, we call ourselves the owners. We carry the cat carrier. We buy the toys. We clean the box. We rearrange our sleeping positions so we don't disturb them. We do all of this cheerfully, voluntarily, and we call it love. The Egyptians at least admitted they didn't understand. Tonight, your cat will find the warmest spot on your chest. It will settle in. It will start to purr. And you will let it stay. You'll tell yourself it's because you're fond of it, because you enjoy it, because it's your pet. But consider another possibility. Maybe it doesn't need you to feel affection for it. Maybe what it needs is simply for you to remain in a certain frequency. Steady, open, present, available. It has been using that frequency for 10,000 years. You think you started this relationship, but the one who stepped out of the grass was always the cat.